Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mings, and a few days ago I uploaded a video on my channel talking about how bad rockets are and how you should never ever use them. Of course, that's not really what I said, but some of the responses seem to imply that I did. Look, I know I'm asking for it when I upload a video with a title like this. I do admit I do sometimes play it up a little bit for clicks, but I did mean what I said. I do find that rockets are an incredibly bad unit for its price. But a lot of people left comments defending rockets, saying that you're being a little bit too harsh on them, and besides, it was a bit of a new game you commented on, and it's not like the guy lost just because he deployed rockets, he also lost because he just played badly. Of course, context matters. There are games where rockets can be used to great effect, and that's why we're going to be checking out one such game today. So this was submitted to me by the user awbw at mangsawbwreplays@gmail.com. Keep the games coming, guys, I appreciate it. And we've covered one of awbw's games before, and he wrote to me saying, "Hey Mangs, since you just made a video trash talking rockets, I thought I'd show you a game I recently played where I did a rocket opener to great effect." And in fact, awbw tells me that he does like opening rockets, at least in high funds. And we are taking a look at a high funds game today. And it's not like we're watching like a noob game or anything. Hudge, the max player, is 1372, and awbw, the Fun Bolt player in this match, is 1429. So strong players here, definitely not a noob match. And they're playing on this map called Off the Beaten Path. Now, I don't know, this map is incredibly weird. It has like a super weird perspective for some reason. So as a result, I had to like stretch it a lot to fit it on the screen, but that's just how it works, I guess. I have been told that indirects are very strong on this map, so obviously it's an indirect friendly map. It is high funds, meaning that economy is going to be very high. It is definitely easier to open rockets in a high funds match, because of course you have more money to play around with. Of course, that doesn't mean you could just throw them away. Losing a rocket is still a pretty big deal, but I can at least see the argument for them being a little bit better in high funds. The matchup that we're seeing here is a classic one that I played many times. Max versus Fun Bolt, always a fun one. Max tends to be on the more aggressive side early on in the match, and he wants to try and win with his first superpower, ideally. And then if Fun Bolt is in a very good position by the first Ex Machina, usually the map will tilt back into his favor, and then Max pops his superpower and it tilts back into Max's favor. It's a back and forth matchup, really. It's an interesting one. I really like it. But of course, in high funds, it is rather easy to bait the Ex Machina. So you can deploy a single Mega Tank, for example, and just have it hit there if you know what you're doing. So I do find that Fun Bolt, he's still strong, of course. The 10% firepower in defense is always nice, but it is harder to utilize in high funds, I find. At least if your opponent knows how to use the move planner. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be jumping into this map right here, Off the Beaten Path, between Hudge and awbw. Let's get started! So, we got Hudge in the red trunks up in the top left here, and we got awbw in the black trunks down in the bottom right here. Now, just to make sure we got the rules covered, yeah, no stealths allowed here. We got HQs in the middle, so these labs don't really count for anything aside from breaking ties during a capture victory. But it's a high funds game. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we're going to be seeing any capture shenanigans here. So I recently played a game on this map, and I actually quite enjoyed it. It's a fun map. It looks a lot more open than it is. It is actually not that open, because there's a lot of mountains in the center, lots of forests too. So I don't really know if that benefits Max or not. I mean, generally speaking, it is said that Max prefer open maps where you can do surrounds and stuff like that. So I think maybe, yeah, there we go. I was waiting for it. So yeah, according to awbw, he did open rocket, meaning he built a rocket before anything else. And of course, the idea behind this rocket is to move it up here and try to lock down this area with it. Now, in fact, if he gets the rocket like here, it'll be a base lock. So Max definitely doesn't want that to happen. But opening rocket against Max is ballsy, to say the least. Because, of course, oh, interesting. So Hudge immediately opens a medium tank on the left side. So there are numerous ways you can respond to the rocket. You can either open like a tank to try and threaten it, or you can just pile on the pressure on the side which your opponent does not have the rocket, which of course is a viable strategy. Now, one thing to also note is the roads. The roads actually connect the bases, and this is one of the reasons why the rocket is viable. Because, of course, if the rocket has to move on planes, it gets slowed down to a crawl, like 2 movement. It's absolutely terrible. tree movement tiles to move through a forest. Like, you're not going to get the rocket towards your opponent at all. But I do like that these roads make it a little bit better for the rocket to actually move forward. Now, Hudge goes for the pipe right here. With the max tank firepower, he'll be able to blast that down in 2 shots, which is nice. This is nice to do as max because, of course, you don't want to be building RDS max to blast down the pipe seam, so a medium tank gets the job done. This is fine. I've actually seen a lot of people who use mega tanks to just one-shot pipes and Pythons, and that's also something you can do. And it is worth noting, yeah, that Mobro is also using this rocket to blast off on the pipe seam, which I actually think is a pretty cool idea. He doesn't need it right away, so just using it to fire on the pipe, and if he wants to, I think maybe he can build a medium tank or a neo tank to blast down the remaining hit points of the pipe. And it is important to do so because, again, you want to get this airport as early as possible. Battlecopters are very strong on this map, because they can hover outside of range around this island right here. They can also take cover behind the mountains. The more mountains there are on the maps, generally speaking, the better battlecopters become. So, interesting start. Hudge goes straight for the comm tower right down here. And he builds a recon. The recons can, of course, threaten the rocket. But he also builds a neo tank on his left side. So he just wants to pile on the pressure where the rocket is not. And Mobra's using the rocket to kill the pipe. And also builds a recon, I guess, to kind of threaten these caps right here, which is, you know, always love seeing recons in high funds. Neo tank coming out of Mobro on the left side here. Let's see what Hudge does. He does need some kind of response to this rocket, I think, because if this rocket just waltzes up and locks down his base, he's going to be in a bad spot. I do like how Hudge is using this medium tank right here just to break down the pipe seams. Actually, I think that's pretty cool. Because opening up pipe seams for Max is very beneficial. It allows him just more room to maneuver around. Like, breaking down this pipe seam will allow you to reinforce quicker into the center if that's where the conflict is. So I do like this a lot. Now, don't really know what the purpose of this recon was, but it's not like it's a big deal. The rocket is rolling forward, and artillery coming out of Mobro right here on the left side. So already a rocket and an artillery against the high funds Max. So this could get pretty dicey. You could die pretty fast. Of course, Von Bolt has a massive advantage in the capture game right here. You see this. It's so hard to attack Von Bolt infantry on cities. Neo tank comes rolling out. Lots of tanks from Hudge right here. This truly is high funds Max in a nutshell. At some point, both players probably want to build a black boat to capture the airport on their respective sides. It can be very nice to build bombers from that and threaten the base. But let us see what happens. Yeah, classic Von Bolt missile sit right here, just putting the Neo tank down here. Even Max does not really want to attack into that. Although I guess he does have a medium tank, but you would have to attack from this tile where the artillery is blocking. So that's actually pretty cute. I like Mobro's artillery positioning right here. It's pretty solid. And there we go. The rocket is creeping up. Keep in mind, shoals are great for rockets to move on as well. And already this rocket is going to creep closer and closer to this base right now. And Hudge needs to be careful, man. He needs to be very careful. He does not want this rocket to base lock him. That would be a very bad situation for him to be in. And he says, screw the rocket. He's just going to go into the center and start picking off free infantry units, which honestly is fine. You know, if you don't have to engage the rocket, you could just front switch away from it, which looks to be what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. But again, he is giving the rocket more room to maneuver forward. So I don't know if this strategy of just ignoring the rocket is going to pay off here. We'll see. Black boat, very good. This black boat has another purpose. It can protect the rocket by going here. So the black boat is very nice, getting this. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, guys. Look at this. Look at this. So if this rocket is allowed to go here, then bye-bye to that base almost. I mean, I guess you could still buy like a mega tank, but it is scary. It is very scary. So Mobro continues to use his indirects to great effect here against Max, placing them in the center of his army. But, oh, what's going on here? Is Max charging up his power? I think he is. Yes, he is. Oh, he's going to pop a Max Force. He is. Would have been scary if he was able to take on the rocket with that. But, of course, you know this is a rocket-friendly game, so you might have predicted that that would not happen. I will say, I'm not sure if I like this Max Force. Like, at the end of the day, what did it really give him? Like, a tank? I feel like there's better things to do with a power and high funds. I feel like this was a bit of a weird move. If he had done it to kill the rocket, I would have totally gotten it, but this feels immature. Or premature, I guess I should say. Like, Max Blast is the power that wipes your opponent off the board in high funds. You don't just pop it to get, like, a single unit. Now, I will say, I do actually like a lot how he's using the Black Boat here. It's really cool. Using the Black Boat to drop an infantry out. This rocket is currently protected, and it's nice to see. But, man, that Ex Machina is looking pretty dangerous right now. Battlecopters coming in. Lots of Neotanks right here. And Hudge is brawling heavily down in this area right now. This isn't looking so good for Mobro, but oh my goodness, he's placing himself up. Ooh, that Ex Machina is going to be nasty, though. Look at that. Look at that. That's going to land right here. That has to land right here. That's like, oh, that is crippling right there. That is like the worst place that Ex Machina could have landed. So, yeah, he's going to lose pretty much everything here now, I think. That was an absolutely devastating Ex Machina. Of course, there is a Max Blast coming in here. But Max Blast doesn't really help if you don't have units. But yeah, this rocket is doing a very good job just warding away these Neotanks right here. So now Hudge is going for the airport, and he's going in hard right now. Kills the artillery. No powers yet. But the Rocket-chan is still standing, ladies and gentlemen. Still standing, and he gets a nice shot off on the Neotank. And using the Battlecopter to block. That is genius. Of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's probably going to be able to kill that Battlecopter if he wants to. But using the Recon to block, that is actually amazing. I love it. So it looks like most of these units will survive, actually, or possibly. And actually, I take that back. No, most of them are dead. More Battlecopters coming out here. I would like to see a Black Boat get an infantry onto this island at some point. But ladies and gentlemen, here comes the Max Blast. Oh, interesting. He's not even going for the Battlecopter. He's going for interrupts? Recon goes down. Yeah, he doesn't even want to try and... Interesting. I would have liked to think he could have killed the Battlecopter if he wanted to here. But maybe he just didn't want to. Maybe he wanted to keep his anti-airs alive. Because once your opponent captures this airport right here, you're going to be facing a lot of Battlecopters. So maybe he just didn't want to sack his anti-air. Alright, day 13 rolls in. Battlecopter goes down, and here we go. Airport is now going to start to get captured. And the brawl continues in the center here. And that Ex Machina, we got to keep an eye on that. The rocket survives so far. It hasn't done a lot of damage, but it's been a pretty good effective zoning tool so far. But looks like Hudge is pushing pretty hard over here now with 2 Neotanks. And he's building even more anti-air as well. Yeah, you do have to build a lot of anti-air. He insists on going for these 2 captures right here. I don't really know if that's going to work for him, but let's find out now. No. Mobro's not going to let that happen. He interrupts both of them. And plunks both cities. Well, they are injured. Both of these vehicles are injured on these cities. I don't know how strong this wall is, but I guess we'll have to see. Oh, interesting. Attacking with the Battlecopter right here. And this rocket's still alive. Using the Black Boat to repair the Battlecopter. You love to see it. Such a great use of the Black Boat. We're on day 15, ladies and gentlemen. Both players are pretty equal in terms of, I'd say Mobro slightly ahead, but let's see if that changes now. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Going for the Battlecopter. The rocket is still alive, ladies and gentlemen. And here comes a mid-turn Max Force. Another mid-turn Max Force again, but he has to be careful. He has to be careful about that Ex Machina that's going to come in. If he's smart, he's going to try and use the Black Boat to soak it, but I don't think it's going to land there. Oh, the Rocket-chan. Rocket-chan takes damage. 5 HP of damage. So let's see what happens now. Mobro pops. Is he going to pop the Ex Machina? He does. And we're... Oh, wow. Okay, so this time, Hudge did a very good job baiting it. But this is what you want to see right here. A single Battlecopter and a single Neotank away from the front lines. This is why Ex Machina is really bad sometimes. You can also, if you're smart, you also use this Black Boat to draw it even further. Like, you can probably do Neotank Black Boat, and then maybe a few infantry. It's a very good thing to do, using transports. But Mobro is like, Rocket-chan may have taken damage, but Battleship-chan have come to take over the reins. And with Battleship-chan protecting Rocket-chan, I dare say we haven't seen the last of Rocket-chan just yet, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pretty wild match. Recon is an interesting unit choice. I mean, I guess it is a way to interrupt these captures without paying too much money. And Rocket-chan goes back and gets repaired up by Blackbow-chan. Blackbow-chan, Rocket-chan, Battleship-chan. The trio. The Wyvern trio. Neotank coming out of Hutch. And again, this brawl right here has been pretty even thus far. Neither player has been able to quite break through. I'd like to see some bombers, I think, out of Hutch. I think max bombers are very strong in high funds. And I understand why Neotanks would probably be better in this situation, though. And Rocket-chan moves out again, gets repaired, and we're probably going to see Rocket-chan back at full HP here. And looks like Mobro has decided to swap over to the right side. This is very interesting. It's a nice battlecopter shot. We'll lose the city, though, but I don't think that's going to be a big problem. As day 17 rolls in here. But yeah, Rocket-chan is once again threatening to do that base lock. Ooh, nasty hit on the Neo-tank right there. Or on the medium tank. And the medium tank goes down. And this is a pretty scary push right here. There's a lot of red units here. Neo-tanks come out from Hutch. He knows that that rocket is dangerously close to base locking him. Could base lock him next turn if it wanted to. And with the battleship also in tow, that's a devastating combination right here. He has to prepare for that. Day 17 rolls in. And here comes the attack. Neo-tank shoots down. Oh, that's a great engagement right there. And the anti are coming in to clean house. These battlecopters are not going to last. Now the artillery is coming in. He can do a triple base lock if he wants. That's definitely going to be GG if he allows that. But he's keeping the rocket alive. It hasn't done like a tremendous amount of damage, but it's been a great zoning tool all map long. I really like it. But here comes the Max Blast. This needs to be a good one. Ooh, nice Neo-tank attack right here. 9-2. And the medium tank goes down. Yeah, this is a strong push right here. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that. Oh, Rocket-chan goes down to 1 health. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, this is a monster push right here. Wipes out a lot of units, but that Ex Machina is going to come down. Is he going to be able to bait it again? He needs to bait it. Day 18. Oh, that is the... Ooh, that's terrible. That's like right in the center. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that is terrible. 3 Neo-tanks basically, or 2 Neo-tanks put out of action right there. And Rocket-chan is alive at well at 1 HP. Not doing such a good job zoning anymore, but on the city, he refuses to let her die. More Neo-tanks coming out of on Bolt right here. And Hutch is ahead in income. 22k to 19k, but I don't think that's going to last very long. 23k to 18k actually, so he's actually doing pretty well. And he's going for the anti-air now, which is good, but there's still 1 healthy anti-air left. Isn't looking super good for Hutch. And look now, we have the artillery and the rockets. Now they're gonna pick off the weakened Neo-tanks that have been paralyzed due to Von Bolt's Ex Machina. Now, I've said it before, but I believe that the reason why Von Bolt's Ex Machina was designed to paralyze units was to make it easier for Uzium to destroy units. Because in many of the maps where you fight Von Bolt, you also fight Uzium. I'm sure those little slime monsters that walked over your units and instantly killed them. But strangely enough, it also kind of works well with indirects, because you pop the Ex Machina, and then you move your indirects in range, and then you attack on the next turn. Which is exactly what we saw happen here. You can get a lot of value out of your indirects, so Von Bolt may be a slightly better indirect commander than many think. But yeah, that's a pretty devastating push. I mean, there's not much of Hutch's army left, and this battleship, it can't really move further than this, but it can still guard a big area here. And we're gonna see a max force right here, desperation max force if I ever saw it. Yeah, those Neotanks are all gonna die. It's a strong max force, but I don't think it's enough. Like, there's just too many units left here. And Hudge decides to throw in the towel, ladies and gentlemen. So, this was an interesting match. I wouldn't say that the Rocket was the sole reason he won, but it was definitely a strong opener, I think. And especially on this map, the Rocket definitely has some value, since you can move it along the coastline here where it's kind of guarded, and there's you put the Rocket on the city, you can like block it off pretty easily. The Black Coat can actually help keep the Rocket safe. So I will say this was a good demonstration of how a Rocket opener could be used to great effect. There wasn't the sole reason Mobro won. I think the Ex Machina, the first Ex Machina, was probably what made him win the game. But it was nice to see a Rocket opener used to great effect. Of course, in high funds, it's a lot easier to get away with this. If anyone has any like standard games where they actually like, maybe not open Rocket, but built Rockets to great effects, I'd love to see that too. I'm always willing to be proven wrong, guys. That's how I make my content. So please submit your emails at mangsawbwreplays@gmail.com, and I shall see you again real soon. Take care. Shyaboosha.